Hi, welcome to this design story. I'm going to share with you the outcome from product leaders, engineering teams, and designers collaborating to create solutions together, and the useful findings from what they were thinking. There are many domain-specific tools that are fascinating in their design that most people will never get to see. The user interface for making complex software, managing its progress, and visualizing its delivery has multiple dimensions that are very interesting. I'm going to show you what users saw. Designing an enterprise user experience from ground zero with an ambition to become the best product requires bold design decisions in conceiving a user interface that is intuitive and versatile for its evolution over the years ahead. For users who automate and orchestrate the delivery of software, the functionality and capabilities engineered into this product handle two key activities: software development and IT operations. These activities are executed by a dev team and by an ops team. The organizational objective is to align team incentives and shared values, and in doing so, we identify common needs to easily see the quantity, scale, and dependency of objects, the progress of activity in the system, errors to troubleshoot, and their location. Ultimately, they want a shared awareness. The dev team concerns itself with creating stable, quality software, and the ops team with setting up environments that meet the software's requirements to run with consistency. Their respective points of entry are a list page, which is a common pattern for many web applications. By displaying the attributes of an application on a card-like visual, our intent was to give users a sense of tangibility to these objects in the system. At a glance, team members can easily see the number of containers or components an application has, even what they are specifically, as well as which processes have been set up, also to which environments it's been mapped. Expanding the card allows you to see the most recent deployment activity and the success or failure status. If the deployment is running, users can gauge the progress. Over the years of improvements, one of the most useful features we developed is the multiple views as points of entry to assessing or editing an application, giving a complete understanding of its anatomy and activity. From viewing the running progress and status of each process step for the application's deployment, to its authoring both in the DSL editor and the visual editor, the guiding design principle was to depict the abstractions literally and clarify the hierarchy of relationships between objects. Process steps are at the heart of deployment automations that reduce human error towards achieving more predictable outcomes. The design of the application's editors and views was the reference from which we established a cohesive user experience for the entire product. Introducing the design of innovative interaction patterns and intuitive navigation through complex functionality requires an understanding not just of the domain, but of the history of the people who will use the product. Software deployment automation and release orchestration for enterprises is about how teams collaborate. It's a tale of two tribes that needed to come together culturally. When teams operate in silos, they do not understand the challenges and burdens they respectively bear. This fosters blame, different incentives, and separate values. Through the design of a user experience that brings commonality between the development team and the operations team, a higher objective is achieved: shared awareness that leads to better collaboration, less mistakes or miscommunications, and thus higher productivity. For the operations team members, the same patterns were used for setting up environments. At a glance, the list page allows to quickly identify the different environment types and their availability. The useful visual information is to easily take inventory of how many applications or microservices have been deployed to a particular environment. Also, what they are specifically, as well as how many resources are being used. As with applications, environments also have multiple views through which to enter. Notice how the visual editor for creating environments mirrors that of the applications with a common depiction that makes it easy to conceive, mapping them to one another. Users from the Ops team configure, set capabilities, determine the schedule of usage, define behaviors for release risk mitigation, and control availability. Both the dev team and the ops team can view deployment activity, and both can home in on errors and investigate the history of changes. The mental model of the timeline makes it easy to visualize the range of time during which changes were made. The most important is that the ops team has a common representation of the relationship between applications and environments, fulfilling the need for a shared awareness of activity. After the basic functionality for the dev team and the ops team was implemented, there emerged a growing demand to meet the needs of another user type, release managers. They require a broader perspective over more than just deployment activities. They want eyes on the entire release and the insights for ensuring the timely delivery of improvements to customers. This started an entire new chapter of evolution that set the product on an accelerated path of innovation. Thank you for watching this design story. In the next episode, you'll find out: what was the big step of evolution? What opportunities emerged? And what became the differentiator?